Hi, I'm Mark Topliff from Knight Frank's Royal Research Team, and we're going to focus on a topic which is becoming of increasing interest to many of our clients: natural capital markets. I'm going to be joined today by three colleagues from the Rural Consultancy Team in the southeast of England: Jamie, Izzy and Rachel. So there's a lot of interest now in natural capital markets, but what actually is natural capital?
So put very simply, it's trying to put a value on the natural capital assets that are all around us, so such as carbon, water, the air, the soil, and it's trying to, how do we value those natural assets?
And it also relates to the wider benefits that can be delivered through the land, so socio-economic benefits such as spending time in the countryside, and the things that we've heard about doctors prescribing time in the countryside for people and so on.
Yeah. What's the linkage there then? What are the markets that we have at the moment? Jamie, do you want to give us a start on that?
Well, they're evolving quickly, but neutrality is an interesting one, where a developer who's going to discharge into a special area of conservation, a water-based special area of conservation, has to offset that negative impact on the environment and some important habitat in the same water catchment. So our clients who are providing environmental improvement are able to provide an offset opportunity for developers in the same water catchment.
Are there other natural capital markets?
Yeah, there's a number of different markets. So you've got markets in relation to biodiversity offsetting, which will be a requirement nationwide from November. You've got markets in relation to carbon, markets in relation to water offsetting as well at this point. So there's a number of different markets, and then we anticipate that there'll be a significant market coming in terms of the corporate ESG side of things as well.
So Rachel, what's the main sort of natural capital market that you're dealing with?
So the immediate one, because of the Environment Act 2021, is biodiversity net gain, which is coming into force this autumn. And that will be an immediate demand for developers to purchase units, either deal with them on site or off site, and there'll be opportunities for our clients to have management strategies to develop a gain, and they can sell those units.
So there's a lot of interest in natural capital markets, but how are we helping our clients, Izzy?
So when we're finding that there's a need for natural capital resources such as biodiversity units, carbon, water, nutrients, we're matching that need with land that's appropriate for delivering the offsetting required.
Well, for example, our client here on poorer agricultural ground, grade 3-2, we're looking for alternative incomes that will replace the basic payment scheme payments at the moment. So we're looking at the biodiversity offsetting opportunities in this local planning authority and trying to match up developers with providing like a private stewardship scheme here for 30 years.
We're providing that sort of advice and guidance on these opportunities. Izzy, do you want to start in terms of what you've been doing around water neutrality?
Yeah, so in this area specifically, there's a localised issue whereby the North Sussex water catchment zone doesn't have sufficient water to deliver further developments. So Natural England have served a notice on those local authorities, meaning that further development's prohibited unless it can demonstrate water neutrality. So we're working with a number of landowners and developers to try and deliver water offsetting.
Jamie, you've been dealing with clients around nutrient neutrality. Do you want to explain a little bit more what you've been doing on that subject?
Yeah, sure, Mark. So with nutrient neutrality, basically development that's potentially discharging into a special area of conservation, a water-based special area of conservation, is required to offset its negative impact on the environment and habitat in the same water catchment. So our clients who own land or fish farms or running pig farms, they produce phosphates, nutrients into the stem. So if they reduce the amount of phosphate they're producing, they can offset that betterment with the developers. So the developers are prohibited from developing until they found that offset opportunity.
It's a really exciting time for natural capital markets and landlords. So what are the main challenges for our clients then, Izzy?
I mean, there are quite a number of challenges. It's a new and very rapidly evolving set of markets, so it's difficult to keep up. And I think also for clients to actually understand the markets and understand the assets that they're selling is quite challenging. And the idea that these are very long-term commitments, and it's quite difficult for some people to get their head around committing for such a long period of time.
Yeah, it's evolving quickly as well, Mark. So what we're finding that will be agreed in one LPA, local planning authority, 50 miles away.
Won't be agreed in another. So it's trying to work with the authorities, bring them with us. We're all learning together. I think with the Environment Agency on the nutrient neutrality, they're clearly under huge pressure to deliver on this, as are Natural England. But it's a new topic, you know, phosphates. People are trying to find solutions, and new ideas are coming forward the whole time.
We work with clients to understand their business and understand their overall strategy. We see these markets as they evolve a very, quite a lucrative and really good way of future-proofing rural businesses and replacing some of that income that's going to be lost via the basic payment scheme. But the business needs to come first, and we need to make sure that any sale of natural capital assets or entering any schemes dovetails with their existing strategy and what they want their business to do. We also need to make sure clients think about what their own needs might be, both for their own building projects perhaps, where they might be required to deliver their own B&G, and also future pressures that they might have, particularly on agricultural businesses, around carbon and offsetting. So we are advising our clients to take a very holistic view, and although the opportunities are very exciting and can be very lucrative, they do need to work within the client's own ongoing business.
And so are there other benefits then for landowners and our clients of being involved with these markets?
Yeah, of course. I think we ignore sometimes the fact that for a lot of people it will meet their general personal objectives in relation to making their estates more sustainable, more biodiverse. The UK's lost a huge amount of biodiversity. It's a really staggering number over the last couple of decades probably in particular, and therefore it's a way for landowners to mitigate that in their own way if that's of interest to them.
We're finding actually it's forcing really interesting discussions with our clients on that strategic level and being much more accurate about what we do on the ground. Those areas of the farm that are marginally profitable with subsidy, let's put those to nature through and channel both private funding and government grant funding into those areas for enhancing biodiversity, sort of building those spokes of income into the business.
So how do we get started, Rachel? I mean, what would you advise a client?
So firstly, we advise that people should have it on the agenda. It's an opportunity which is fast coming down the tracks, and clients, farmers, landlords need to be thinking about it, and it should be top of the agenda.
Are these opportunities open to all landowners and clients across the country?
Anyone owning land can access these opportunities, but depending where they are will depend on the market they can enter. The nutrient neutrality markets are where special area of conservation could be affected by a proposed development, and that's within the same water catchment of that area. So if a developer is trying to build a house and the farm or someone owns land in that water catchment upstream from it, there's a potential opportunity there for some nutrient offsetting.
So it looks like these markets are around for the foreseeable future. There's funds flowing into those markets. Where's that funding coming from, is it?
Well, a lot of it is coming from developments, but also there is going to become an increasing demand for corporate kind of ESG private markets as well, so there will be money from there. We've already been contacted by a number of businesses who are looking to offset, be it carbon or biodiversity and their general sustainability piece, and what they can do and how we can put them in touch with landowners who can help deliver that. So I think that's quite a big one that's going to come down the road.
So there's a lot of pressure on land use in Britain at the moment. Lots of different factors are trying to make the most of the land. I mean, how does this all play into that whole sort of debate then, Rachel?
So that's a very good question, and it's something that our clients are talking about all the time, that the pressures they have around food production versus the environment. And this is why we really advise clients that they should have a sort of whole farm, whole estate plan, identifying the land which is not very good for food production. It might be low grade, it might be wet, and those are the parcels that they should earmark for this new natural capital income, and they should focus the agricultural production on the better quality of land.
Yeah, I think, as Rachel said, it's that sort of looking at it strategically.
It's a really challenging thing for a lot of farmers to get their heads around, I think, because their job has always been to produce food. So it feels, I think, for many people quite counterintuitive to take land out of agricultural production and producing food to not producing anything there. And I think it's one of the barriers to entry for a lot of farmers in particular, because it's something that they're not used to and it doesn't necessarily feel so comfortable. But it's about making, hopefully, them understand that it's the right thing to do for those lower productive areas. And our clients and their land holdings are in a unique position to deliver the solutions for that. And it's really exciting to think that they're going to be able to capitalise on some of the economic benefits that this is going to be able to bring, as well as the natural environment benefiting as well.